So this is the printout that I'm going to show the doctor. As you can see, so before medication, my hairline had really gone back quite far either side, and it was very thin indeed. And you can see there again, it was really quite thin. Then I took finasteride and minoxidil, and you could see my hairline came in quite a lot more. I got a lot more regrowth. It was a lot thicker, definitely, and I had some really good results there. This is more recently, so about age 23. Again, you can see it's not awful, but it's not where I want it to be. So really, I have to kind of sweep this hair across. There's not really much density through this section here, where it's starting to thin. I always kind of sweep it over, but you'll always look like you're receding because the hair isn't there. This is the kind of thing that I'd like. I'd like the hairline here kind of reinforced and lowered. And then all of this I'd like filled in with hair. Again, I've kind of dotted it in using my phone to kind of give the doctor a bit of an idea of what I would like, the expectation. There's the current supplementation and medication that I'm using and have been using. I take finasteride, which is just a pill before bed, biotin, another pill before bed, a multivitamin, a fish oil. I don't do these two religiously though, and also minoxidil. So the three that I take religiously are finasteride, biotin, and minoxidil, and I can talk about those another time perhaps. These are some older photos. So this is what my hair used to look like. You can see I've still got that recession, but the hair was quite thick around there, so I was able to sweep it over. The hair just isn't there anymore, so I can't do that. But this is what I'd ideally like to go back to. I don't want to really go too much lower than that. If I could, then that would be fantastic, but that's the expectation, really. And again, another line that I drew on of what I would like my hairline to look like. These are more recent photos after a haircut. And I've tried to take the same photos in the same format so I could track my hair loss progression. I've kind of used myself as a bit of a case study. This is, again, what I would like. I'd like the angles to be brought down on the temple. The tuft at the front is probably okay, but I do want to reinforce it at the front in case it starts thinning out, because if it does start to thin out, at least I've got some hair to flip back. You've got to be wary that you might need a future hair transplant. So it's about being conservative, but also having it done so that you'll be happy. And again, perhaps lowered at the front and the angles cut off at the sides. That would make a really big difference. This is my hair wet. So everybody's hair looks a little bit thinner wet, but it really highlights where I'm balding when the hair is wet. So you can see there's really very few hairs behind that front tuft, and it's also quite thin through the middle as well. I edited the hair as well to kind of see what the hairline would look like if I thickened out the front, and that's exactly what I'm after. I would be happy with that. And here's a few pictures online of different patients and case studies that I'd like to show the doctor. I've kind of gone overkill, but that's just what I'm like. I'd like the doctor to see exactly what I'm expecting. Many of you have probably seen this doctor on YouTube. I think it's Juan. It's a doctor in Brazil, I believe, has really fantastic results. But that's what I'd like. That would be ideal. And there's the chap from Hairline Confessions. I print screened his as well because he had fantastic results. Similar pattern of balding to mine, but I think he's a little bit thinner on the crown. But his results were, really fantastic, and he had a similar Norwood scale to me. These were a couple of images that I just pulled off Google. They have very similar shaped heads to me. So again, something that I would, this would be desirable, this kind of hairline. And a few more online as well. This one is actually one done by Dr. Tayfun, so there's really good results. And that's the kind of thing I'm hoping for.